All right, good morning. Today is Thursday, August 1st, about 8:30 in the morning. Jane and I are at the Colorado Trail. This is segment 3. I was here about a month ago and spent the night in section 3, only a couple miles from here, but had to turn back since I had a parking spot at the very beginning of 2. So I kind of knew then that I wanted to continue further on the trail. So my objective today is to do section 3, do section 4 tomorrow. I think Jane will pick me up at section 5. So monsoon season started, so I may get some rains later today, but great start to the day. When I was here in this area on the 4th of July, the parking lot was absolutely packed. Right now there's only one other car here. So again, little scraggy trailhead. Today's mileage, I think it's just under 13 to get to section 4, but I'm not planning on doing the whole thing today, especially if there's weather. So time to get rolling.
We rode up here today, and I'm gonna hike with Paul for a little bit, and then I'll turn around, and then I'll see him again when he gets to section 5 in a couple days.
All right, so we're hiking along at a leisurely pace, and it's ideal conditions out right now. Kind of at a high point right now where you actually get a view that we're in a mini bowl, not a big one, but today's hike is predominantly in the forest. You won't get a lot of views, but probably within 15 minutes of the site I stayed at last time. Anything you want to say?
No, gorgeous. Beautiful day, beautiful scenery, pleasant hike so far.
Yep, flowers are definitely popping, so I'm gonna keep going on that way, and maybe we'll clock in once we get to the site, and I'm gonna try my new water filter. All right, so we are now at the first water source in section 3. This is where I camped about a month ago, and we just had a guy that we bumped into that left 5-10 minutes ago. So it's not a very big water source, certainly not deep at all, and I'm still going to filter it. So I have a new GeoPress. I'm going to try that out for the first time right now and see how that works. That's going to be my only filtration on this trip, and I'm not really too worried about water, but let's see how it works. So I'm going to give this to Jane. Here you go. All right, so it has an outer shell and the inner shell. Fill this with water, press it down, done. So in theory, I'm not hooking up tubes or anything like that at all. All right. Okay, so it has a fill line, so put that in there. All right, you do want a hard surface for it, and you generally just use your body weight to make it work. So the cap lets air out. Gonna go down. It takes about 10 to 15 seconds. So definitely some pressure I am putting on it right here. Just leaning into it. All the way down. And done. So you could literally drink right out of it or use this as your carry bottle as well. So we'll see how it is at the end of the trip. I'll kind of do a full review of it, but so far quite easy. And the nice thing in the Rocky Mountains is our water's pretty clean to begin with, so this shouldn't really clog up or have any issues. So I'll check in probably once I get to as far as I hiked the last time I was out here, and then the scene will be all new. All right, so it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. You can definitely tell the temperature and dew point are very close together because there's actually, look at that. It rained last night. I just bumped into someone and still water. So kind of weird hiking here in Colorado. Again, August is the monsoon. It's very, very damp. Not like a super uncomfortable, but just it's damp. So I think the smells are a little more intense. And you look around, it is clouding up and it's still early. So I'm definitely today, probably not too far after the lunch hour, going to be looking for my site. So ideally, I'd like to get about 10 miles in. I'm probably about 4 in right now. I still want to make some mileage since I'm on an agenda, but definitely just a forest hike. And I have bumped into a couple people that are doing the entire trail. And I think now, beginning in August, shouldn't be any issues with snow and ice and stuff like that. No bugs at all, so very, very pleasant hiking. Ideal temperature. And I'd say so far ideal. I'm sure that'll change depending upon the weather in a few hours. At some point back in time, a long time ago, I lugged in this trash here. It looks like a barrel and a bed frame and some of their tin cans and cooking stuff around here. So again, get a lot of squatters and stuff up here. That's obviously very aged, but one thing that's got me thinking, this is probably the first opening I've had on the hike. So if you were using solar power and had stuff hanging from your pack, section 3 on a cloudy day or even a normal day probably wouldn't be the best to recharge everything. But I've had 6 mountain bikers pass me. The hiker I met this morning where Jane and I got water, I passed him and his dog, and I had a family of 4 coming this way. So there are people out here, and if you look down now on the trail, those are from horses. So I just passed horses a little bit ago as well. So yeah, there's people out here. So hopefully the weather will hold up. I don't hear lightning, thunder, wind. It's very, very calm and just actually pleasant. But again, you can definitely tell by looking up that it's got that cloudy purple look. So I do think when it does rain, it's gonna stick around for quite a while and it could be pretty powerful. So my objective today is to get about 10 miles in. If I can get 10 today, a good 10 tomorrow, that'll leave me with 6 or 7 on my last day when I get picked up, which is very reasonable. But because of weather, if you can get bonus miles, I'm going to go ahead and do that, because you can never tell exactly how the mountains are going to be based on a forecast from the Denver Metro. So this is probably the first sign I've seen in a long time, and whew, it's definitely a little used and abused here. So it looks like we got 2 trails here, so very well marked. So Colorado Trail is going to be going that way, the tramway is that way. So it's about 11:30 in the afternoon, and I've passed a couple more people. And one of the really nice things about this trail is the signage. They're very clean, new, easy to follow. So there hasn't been a point at all where I've been on this trail and thinking, oh, am I going in the right direction? It's also a really good trail if you're wearing trail runners. You can wear really lightweight shoes just because it is hard pack. I believe section 4, it's got more scree rock, and again, that's going to be uphill. So the hike of 3 and 4 will be very, very different from each other. So as long as the weather holds out, I'm going to keep rolling on this. I have not seen a lot of areas for water, and I've only just got the 1 water bottle, but I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to kind of go off the trail a little bit, no problem. But overall, easy trail to go on. One in front of the other. Kind of snakes through the forest. So again, today would not be a good day if you're relying upon solar energy to power your batteries. I don't have any issues with that at all. And the couple people I bumped into are not doing the entire thing. They're all kind of doing mini sections like I am. They live in the Springs or Denver Metro, and one of the nice things is outside of bumping into them, I mean, listen right now. There's absolute silence this entire hike. It's a little weird because you don't even hear like birds or chipmunks a lot. So, all right, so I just actually didn't stop for lunch break. I just have a power bar in my pouch here, ate that, and then all of a sudden I came around this corner and you could hear the noise. So look at that beautiful water. Gorgeous. So I decided, since it looks like it's definitely going to rain, to fill up all my water now. So I did bring a water bladder. I've got my Grail GeoPress and then my Nalgene. So I'm all good on water. So I get to camp, I don't need to worry about that now. So in case it is raining, I can do a quicker setup. Great water source. I think a Sturi pen would work fine here as well. And this is the good old pure Rocky Mountain water right here. So no issues at all. But I would say that GeoPress, that thing is awesome. I used it 4 times because I guzzled, and literally 10 seconds, your water's ready, easy to put away. And I'm actually using it as a storage container, so I probably got an extra 20 ounces in there as well. So again, great signage and everything. Looks like a cabin over there. So I'm going to predict that I'm within probably about 4 miles at the end of the section. So I think I'm going to press on. My goal was to, you know, get within 2 miles of it, so maybe another 2 miles to go. But if I can get within a mile of it, that's pretty cool for today. So we'll see what happens with it. But again, unless it starts raining, I'm going to keep on pressing on, and I'll start looking for a decent site as well. All right, so going along here, and I'm approaching the next segment. Got to be within 2 miles of it. It's been uphill, and I added about 5 pounds to my pack of water, and it's just came up on the sign. And yeah, I'll be honest, you're right next to the thing, because there's got to be some guy over here with something pretty powerful going on. See a little bit of blue sky, so, and more bird life. The topography is changing a little bit. It's not as dense right now, so I'm seeing more birds, squirrels, and things like that. But hopefully, see peeking through a little bit of blue sky. Doesn't mean anything, but doesn't feel like it's as humid now, and it still feels pretty good. So I'm going to start looking for a site here in the next hour or so, see how close I make it to the end of the segment. I may even look at my book and see what recommendations are, because again, it's always nice to be by water. I don't need it, but I just kind of like it. But I passed a few people, but I have not had anyone pass me today, and it's been where I got water is the last place I saw people, so it's certainly been a while. But very, very pleasant hiking and great temperatures, especially for the beginning of August. All right, so if you look over my shoulder there, you'll see a group of people. I was the first one there. They all caught up to me. There was a guy, trail match. He's got a chair, sodas, the works. I'll admit, at first I was a little apprehensive. I thought he was trying to sell stuff. And I started talking to him, and then I did. So, first time I ever had trail magic, had a soda with him. He's a character, I'll leave it at that. Woo! So, nice thing is I am now in section 4. So I hit my goal for the day. And I guess he knows it really well, but the really good sites are still 5 miles away. I don't know if I'm going to make it that far. I'm getting tired. So, we'll see, but this part of the trail is definitely uphill the entire way, so I don't know if I'll have the full energy to do that. But I'll find something. If there's water, I'll stop there. But very nice people back there. Here's where I'm going, up this road. So I probably have maybe about an hour's worth of energy left for the day. All right, so it's about 45 minutes since that roadway. And my I guess I'll call it a Jeep path. I guess you can only see 100 yards ahead of you, but it's uphill the whole way. And it, I'll be honest, it feels like it's never ending right now. So I am on high alert for a sight. I'd say I got 30 minutes of energy left, and then it's going to be But the temp is great. One of the interesting things about this hike so far is no wind, no breeze, really nothing. I haven't had a lot of sunlight, just a constant in the cloud duct kind of thing, but it's really not humid or anything anymore. But as you can see by the slope, definitely approaching elevation now and going up. So by no means is the road hard, it's just that it's a constant, there's no break in it. So maybe I'll check in once I get to my site, and it would be great if it's within 30 minutes. I'm now thoroughly in Lost Creek Wilderness. That last section, not a lot of fun, especially at the end of the day. So they do require you to get a permit here. So no big map really right there, but just a sign. So hopefully, I know I keep saying this, within a half hour of here though, a water source and a good area to camp. We're getting some purple clouds over there, but I've heard a couple thunder rumbles, I guess you would say, but nothing where I'm like worried. So, all right, I will check in once I get to my site, and this time I mean it. If you're really quiet, you can hear a woodpecker over there. Pretty cool. So I'm in a very, very mature forest of, I believe these are aspens, and it was super duper sunny. You could scrape them with your hand, put that residue on your face, and it's like sunblock. So even though I'm tireder than blank, I can still appreciate the view out here. It actually reminds me, I have a photo at home called A Walk in the Woods. It's got the moose behind the aspen in the winter. I'm surprised I haven't seen anything like that yet. It'd be really easy to hide in here. So I think I'm getting closer to an area again that I'm going to call camp for the night. I also don't want it to be too buggy though. So the bugs have not been too bad, but I have a feeling once they settle down and it hits dusk, they're going to be out with a vengeance. So I'll have that in mind too. So all I'm really doing right now is listening for water. And as soon as I hear it, boom, I'm done. All right, so night one, it's about 5 o'clock. So I'm definitely going to get my dinner going now. Been here for about half hour or so. Got the site set up. So decent size. You could definitely get a few people in here. I've had a couple go by. The trail is literally right there. I'm going to scout after I get my water boiled and see if the water is not too far away. But I'm glad I stopped. It's starting to get some thunder and stuff. So for my dinner, I'm trying something different. I think they're called Zitarians. They're those New Orleans meals. So this is black beans and rice. So you cook it, put it in a dehydrator, and then you freeze dry it. And then I added some, you get them at Sam's Club, and they're like their brats, but they're really, really high quality, where there's only 4 or 5 ingredients. Added those to it. So I will boil this water. I will let this set for 20 minutes while I go look for water. Put it in a foil bag, come back and eat. And all of a sudden, can you see the wave of sugars? I don't know what those are right in front of me right now. So I think I'm going to put that back on because I've sprayed it. But it's good to be at the site, so all I need to do is get a little bit of water. I don't have to have it, but if I can find it, I will do so. So maybe I'll check in once I have dinner. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and eat dinner because it definitely looks and feels like I'm hearing thunder now. But here's what the dinner looks like. I actually have some gravel in there too. That basically is hamburger that's dehydrated. So that literally is a Zitarian, something I'd eat at home. So that'll taste great. I'm not a big fan of the Mountain House meals that come in these big bags. Just their profile so big as well. And then they cost $7, $10. These new niche ones, some of them are 12 or 13. I'm sure they're good, but that's probably $2 right there. That's half a box, probably split in half. And then I got some recovery drinks, so I think I'm going to get that going. And then I may look for water, but I'm starting to see a lot more people walking by now too. So they're probably like me thinking, probably time to get a site. So would it surprise you if I told you while I was out getting water, I got dumped on, and it was about a mile away. So I didn't make it all the way to the water source. It started getting the baby hell pellets, and that's when I turned around. And I really have everything I own is hanging up in here now, and the floor is actually even kind of a little dirty because it was not what the kind where it was raining so hard you don't really care, you just want to get in. And of course now it's stopped and probably peaceful and all that. So all right, kind of going over what I did today with my itinerary. So started at segment 3, did the entire thing, so that is 12.7. My original goal was to get close to 4, and kind of going through here, I'm going to say, so this is a much longer one, 16.6 miles, and the elevation gains a little bit more too. It's already started. I'm probably only about 3 miles into it, so I'm not going to tell you that I'm almost done anyway whatsoever. Had more people go by to go to that site. There was a bunch that started down there where we met that one guy. So overall, really good day. I went further than really what I wanted to, and toward the end, as I found this site, I'll be honest, I was kind of at the point where, like, all right, I don't care. I just want to stop. It felt the whole time like it was going to rain, and for me, there's nothing worse than coming to a site when you got to set up and it's just drenching on you. So I avoided that. I'll dry out pretty good. So I'll do some reading for a while, and then I'll probably go out, brush my teeth, and get ready one more time. But so for breakfast tomorrow, I have oatmeal and coffee. I have enough water just for that, and then I'll be able to fill up in a couple miles. So I didn't have to have the water. I just kind of wanted it. So I will see you in the morning. All right, good morning. So it is morning of day 2. Just had the night out last night. Pretty rainy. I was actually about 1.5 miles that way wearing this, and I was going to get water when it really started to pour, and it poured for 2 hours so bad that when I got back here, I had some stuff out. I just left it out. I came out later to put away, but if you look around, I literally have all my stuff drying. Got breakfast going now. Tent's all shaken out, so, and the sun is just getting over that ridge over there. So breakfast today, coffee, oatmeal, pretty basic. What's amazing here is there is no wind at all. So I was actually hoping we'd have like a 5-mile-per-hour breeze last night just to dry everything out, but nope. So today's agenda is make it most of the way to section 4. I don't need to do the whole thing since I don't get picked up until tomorrow, but there's supposed to be a really good water source, maybe 3 miles that way. And again, I made it halfway until, of course, the skies opened up, but look at that, blue sky. So hopefully I'll have that. But look at this. This is just pines all over, a couple squirrels, and late last night during the rain, got one guy that kind of joined my site here. So, all right, gonna go ahead and have breakfast, get cleaned up, and hopefully be in the trail in about an hour or so. And all right, so it's 7:45 in the morning. The sun is just starting to peek through everything, so feels pretty good out right now. Has a little bit of a damp feeling definitely still, but feels good. So I'm getting ready to head out. So today, again, I'm still with only a couple miles at the beginning of section 4. Objective today is I don't need to make it all the way to 5 because I'm not getting picked up till tomorrow. But maybe by the Brookside McCurdy Trail, I've hiked that before, somewhere along those ways. So the nice thing with today for me, not nearly as aggressive since I made some good mileage. So say goodbye to the campsite. I'll be heading in that general direction. So the guy with the dog left just about 2 minutes ago. It was interesting, he was telling me that his tent floor is all torn up because the dog has nails. And he's only like on day 4 of his trip, so he's got a long way to go. But definitely a cool little site. No water, but a cool little site. So I should have water 3 to 4 miles ahead. I want to get cleaned up. The only other thing with the rain last night is this is like beach sand. So everything I have has like sand sticking to it. So I'll probably do a cleanup. But so as you can see, it's going to be uphill all day long, but looking forward to it. So last night when I got caught out in the rainstorm, I didn't quite make it this far, but I recall Payne Creek, when I was looking at places to go around 4th of July, I remember seeing videos of this place. It was still snow covered up here and all that. So last month everything has gone away, easy hiking and all that. So again, just I call it like a rocky Jeep road, although there's no Jeeps allowed or cars. But continuous uphill, and you usually get about 100 yards of perspective because it winds around, and every now and then you think you're going to get a nice little vista. This should open up into a giant meadow many miles from now. But otherwise, ideal start to the morning. All right, so I've been hiking for 30-45 minutes. Came from that direction here, and here is the first primary water source of the area. So great water source. And you can see going uphill in that direction over there. But so able to get my gear cleaned up and everything. I'm not too worried about water the rest of the hike, so I just filled up 2 of my bottles and good to go. So got some sunlight ahead as well, so I should be there in a bit. All right, past the first sign of the morning, not even a half mile ago. So off what I would call the Jeep trail, and now it's definitely more a up the mountain switchbacks type of route right here. So I'd say the grade has gone from 5% to maybe 8 to 10 in some sections. So hopefully in an hour or so I'll get some good views, but otherwise definitely stuck in the middle of the forest. Trail is definitely wet and damp. It's not muddy or slippery. It's just, so this is the first section I'd say when it's the kind, at least for me, where maybe every 100 yards you take a 30-second break, whereas the Jeep road you can just kind of stay with it. But just an idea of what it looks like in this canopy. So again, it's just snaking along up there. So I'll do an update maybe once I get to an open vista. All right, so the last 20 minutes it finally started to drop downhill. So I've lost a couple 100 feet of elevation. If you look to my left, first visual in segment 4, where it actually opens up. So it actually got really thick in here as well. So predominantly 3, and at least this part up to 4 until the meadow is very thick forest. Very peaceful. You definitely feel like you're in the wild outside of the guy that camped by me. I've not seen another person today or even heard a noise. I mean, it's just dead silent, no breeze. So since this is my first view, I think I'm going to take a off-trail look. Beautiful. Should be great habitat in here for moose, deer, bear, blah blah blah. Little birdie. Sweet. All right, so this should open up. So I'm going to take a little snack break here in a bit and enjoy the views. All right, so it's about 10 minutes after my lunch break, and that's just energy bars and snacks I carry here in the front pack. And I am definitely more of a grazer when I hike. I could probably graze every hour or so and be very fine doing that. What I find it hard to do is when I go to camp is I'm not a sit down and have a big meal kind of eater. I usually eat about half of it. So I'm still going to do it, have a good meal, but for me it's just where my appetite's not there, but the thirst is way up, so I can drink a lot. But so the meadow actually, it's probably a half mile down there. So literally when you first see that meadow, it does not truly open up. It's just there. So I know there's a portion of this hike where it will open up, but it's so dense, you can barely make out the light green where it is. And it's also starting to cloud up a lot more now. I heard my first rumble of thunder. So I'm kind of feeling like I may literally go the entire day without any direct sunlight on top of me for more than seconds at a time through the canopy. Ideally, I'd like to find a spot today where I can set up, dry out, and maybe even do some exploratory hiking just in the forest in general. So since I'm not being picked up until tomorrow around noon, I definitely don't want to do the entire segment because that would take me close to 11,000 feet and probably not a very pretty camp area. But what I'm looking for is, I think it's Brookside McCurdy, and I've been on that trail before. And that way tomorrow, ideally I'd like to have less than 6 miles, and that way I can be there in plenty of time so Jane can pick me up and won't be looking for me. But a little bit denser now. So here's an example where, since it has been raining, this is normally probably dry right here, but you'll get these natural springs from the mountains right here. So all right, I'm gonna keep trucking along. Now it feels like I'm officially at the meadow, and I believe this goes on for many, many miles. This is just not a half-mile jaunt. So this literally is the first time since section 2 where the trail opens up. You know you're in the bowl areas and you can actually see the vistas and surroundings. Asked him if he saw any animals and he said no, but he talked to others that did see a moose one night. But if you were to come out here at dusk, that it should be all around. I see a white bottom. That may be a deer way over there. Let's give you the 360. So again, definitely pretty. And if you look over my shoulder that way, you can see where the purple clouds are. So should be able to make some decent time within here, but again, I'm not really trying to do that, so I'm gonna definitely take in the views, and if I see something really interesting, shoot it. Tell everything is in full bloom right now, so gorgeous yellows. And I have allergies and all that, but I'm not getting hit with anything that's like, whoa, big smells of it. But this is definitely very, very pretty here. So water, I believe, is hidden. You can see it barely, hidden right in the middle of that whole thing there. So if you do need it, you just got to kind of go to the side and get it. I am fine for now. All right, so I'm going to check signage here. Look, there's even a car up here. A little bit of a tilt. So I believe this is by Brookside McCurdy. I want to say, yeah, Lost Creek Wilderness. Okay. About the wildlife, about the rules. Right here. So again, hooking up the Colorado Trail, but I believe these two will merge right here. So I've been in this area before, but definitely not right here. Beautiful. So that guy's able to get here in his car there. So definitely everything's blooming, good shape. So I believe I go over there. All right, so if you listen, you can probably hear raindrops. It's definitely coming down, but it's very sporadic. So the drops are big, they make noise. I'm probably gonna give it another 10 minutes until I put on my pack liner and a rain jacket, hoping it will kind of pass. So again, a general perspective of where I am. Love the fact water's right over there, you can always hear it. I went ahead and filled up. Did it just for the heck of it. Not because I knew I was gonna run out of it, but I needed a little break. So as far as this section right here, I'm really only looking to go 3 or 4 miles and look for a site. And the weather, I may have to do that anyway. So here's what I'm walking into, kind of swirling that way. So it's not like it's one giant connected purple cloud. It's kind of broken out, but it actually feels good. But it's hard to believe this whole hike here is at 10,000 feet. So I think that's why the droplets may be a little bigger, and when they splat, they make noise. But here's an idea of single track. Beautiful flowers on all sides. So again, very easy to walk on the trail. If everything here was 2 feet higher, you'd be brushing up against it. Maybe not, but it looks like this whole area here is in great shape. All right, so I took the rain gear out. It actually started to drizzle pretty hard 3 minutes ago, and now it's drizzling, but not hard, but enough to where I at least want my pack to stay dry. I'm not as worried about my upper body too much, but you get a 360 view. It's a little break, not a little break, so I have a feeling that I've probably got less than an hour until it decides it's gonna just do what it needs to do. So I'll start looking for a site. The nice thing is there's a look at my left here. Once I do, I'll head inside into the woods to find my spot. But all right, I think I'm gonna put this away so it doesn't get wet and definitely keep cruising along. All right, so the weather is changing rapidly here, but if you look ahead of me, that's not looking very, very friendly right there. But literally, you come over here, look at that, it's nice. So I'm gonna just keep this on to be safe, but I passed the sign, the Brookside McCurdy that goes that way. This is the Colorado. So I pretty much hit my mileage I'd like to for today. Tomorrow I'm looking at like 6 to get out. So I'm hoping, one thing I'm noticing is that's just wild forest right there. So I'd like to go to an established site, and boy, the other side certainly looks a lot better. But so I'll be looking for it, maybe around the bend or something. So I'd like to be a little bit into the woods. That way you're getting blocked from the wind. And if it does rain, and this is about, I think it's 10,500 feet, so it's certainly real elevation, so I can hail and all that. But pretty, looks the same kind of as you go. You can probably see about a mile ahead of you at a time, but wide open meadows, beautiful area, absolutely fantastic. You know, it's just a little strange in the weather right now. So you can now see I'm in a marshy area, which I believe in the guidebook they referred to it as a bog, just because it did rain, but there's literally just flow coming from these areas. So here's what the trail looks like. Nice chocolate water. So I'm trying to walk on both sides of it here. So I really don't want to camp in the bog area, because just by the nature I'm thinking there'll be more mosquitoes and insects there at night. So I'm going to do my best to get out of here in a half hour or so, and then like I said, I feel like I'm overdue for my spot. Wow, some of these areas are actually really, really deep. So I'll look for a tree line, dry area. The nice thing, since it's been raining, is I'll be able to see what areas are dry or not. But let me get out here in the clearing, get a better view. So it's certainly still gorgeous area. But hopefully I'm within a half hour quitting time. All right, so it's about 3:15. I'm at my campsite and doing camp chores. So I had a nice blazing sun over here, so I had everything set up for quite a while over here, and I just moved my tent straight ahead down into a sheltered area now. So I'm gonna let that go. You can see I got the laundry rack going. So a lot of my stuff was wet just in the rain today, so that should air out me good. And I decided, what the heck, I'm gonna lay out everything I have if I'm gonna have the sunshine. It should be around for a while. So chair, bag, pants, sleeping bag, pillow, you name it. So I'm now gonna go down and get water. Don't need a lot, more like for cleaning up, but I'm gonna try to get a good 2 of those Nalgene's into me. So it's more about just getting cleaned up, and also dip my feet in the stream, let them get cleaned up. So I think one of the best things you can do when you're out here is take care of your feet, because you're literally every step you're on them. But this is a very nice established spot. The trail is way over there, so I found this literally by luck. I've actually had a couple people walk by me that I don't think they even knew it. I was just kind of going on my gut instinct, looking uphill for places. And the last thing is I have a nice right behind me, nice peak right there as well. So lots of horse patties in here. They look very dated and old, especially as you get down closer to my tent site. Big fire site. I won't be using it, but it's just kind of a good for a base camp setup area. So try to get cleaned up. Hope I have another half hour before rain, and maybe get an early dinner going. Not really hungry right now, but definitely thirsty. So we'll see about the dinner, but either way, I'm glad it lit up a little bit. So it is 4 o'clock on day 2. Camp is set up, and I put some of the stuff away just in case it does come in. But you go through all that work, it's nice to be able to relax a little bit. So I got my chair, a decent cigar, which lighting at 10,800 feet. I actually brought my special camp matches, so they light for like 5 seconds in a big blaze, and it worked. So it's fine. And something I've never done before that I just chilled in the stream was an Oscar Blues IPA. So I'll have to admit, if I can get a half hour of sun where I just sit here and do nothing but do this, I'll be pretty happy with that. I guess I'm my buddy with the dog. He's going to try to go a little further because I guess he needs to get into town. So there is room here for other people, but if not, should be a great night. So I'm sheltered again, 150 feet over there, and I'm going to enjoy the sunshine. So maybe I'll check in with you around dinner time. All right, so it's about 5 o'clock on night 2, and I had to come in the tent because the clouds started rolling in, and you may hear a little bit of thunder, and you can tell it's getting windy too. Keep in mind, I chose this site because it's surrounded by trees. I just finished getting some rock anchors, so on my tent, I like to anchor in all the points, especially on the guy lines, because I'm at 10,800 feet, so if it does get violent weather, really windy, I've had stakes pull up before, so I think the rocks were a little helpful. And what I noticed getting those is there are cow patties all over the place. And I know it's been wet, but I would say relatively fresh. So I think the fence area I saw on my hike today that was down was, there's probably free-range cattle out here. So hope I don't run into one of those later on. That would actually be kind of scary to have a big animal and you look up and it's just a cow. But I'd rather have that than something else. So I'm in my tent right now again because I was getting ready to start my cooking, and I was like, man, it's going to get rainy. So what I'm going to do for now is I like to set everything up, and I'll maybe do like a little review of the gear I use. I always use a liner inside my sleeping bag. That way my skin, in theory, never comes in contact with my bag. My bag is the Sierra Designs 35. The color combination is a little weird, but what I like about it is there's no zippers. It's got this giant fold on it, and you can put it in. It's got things for your hands. So to me, it simulates almost more like I'm sleeping at home. I don't like being in a zipper and all that. It also has a nice, in the back, so if you notice my sleeping pad, it's tucked into it. So there's really a fold that goes probably up to here. So if I do slide, it's going to stay with me. I'm probably on a 1.5 degree slope, so I'll always sleep head first on that. And again, this is about the best I could find right here. Right here, I always wear fresh clothes at night. The only time I wear these is when I am sleeping at night, so that way I know they're always fresh. What you see right here is what I washed in the stream. That's day 1, and I kind of use that for my splash back there. That's why that's dirty. So in theory, tomorrow, those are the socks and the gaiters that I'll wear tomorrow. I found this actually in Canyonlands National Park at Salt Creek. So people leave stuff behind, and it actually works as a pretty good lantern. It's solar. So the nice thing is I don't use a headlamp a lot. And if I think about the gear I always take that I rarely use, I have a Leatherman knife. Rarely ever touch that thing. And then I do have a headlamp as well, and I don't touch that a lot either. So I'm probably going to have a little snack, drink. The water is only 100 yards away. It's a fantastic source. So this is a pretty good spot. I saw my friend with the poodle that went by, and again, he's going to try to make the push today because he has to get some stuff in town. What he noticed on his tent, his dog claws are going through it right there. And I know Big Agnes now makes some liners, so he's actually like sewing those together right there, which is interesting. And lastly, this is a Copper Spur UL2. I can tell you I've had the one person in my hands many times, but when you really look at the dimensions and the weight, the difference is completely negligible. So negligible. Ugh, can't really talk right now. You can tell I'm a little tired. But what I like about it is I can kind of hang my laundry in areas. So here's my sleeping area. I won't touch it, and I can kind of sit right here. And sometimes my wife goes with me too. So when you do have 2 people in here, it's stuffed, but it works. But great tent. And if there's one thing, if you're going to altitude backpacking, I would say your tent is probably your most important item, just because the weather, it's a different factor when you're in the high country. So again, I'm at 10.8 right now. I usually always try to sleep below 11,000 feet. And that's just a personal choice on my part. Last thing I'll say for now is appetite. I have none. I've got some Fritos with me that are spicy. I'm probably going to have some of those, but with the thunder and the lightning, if I don't make a big meal tonight, I'm not going to be missing a lot. I don't know what it is, something about altitude or the hiking, but I'm just not a big sit down, have a meal. I'm much better off nibbling throughout the day, and I've done that. So I might do one more recap video for tonight, but I'm going to get things cleaned up and organized. And today was a very interesting but fascinating day, and I would say Lost Creek Wilderness and the Colorado Trail, both of them are fantastic. And it's hard to believe this is really only 90 minutes from my house. Morning, day number 2, and as you can tell, it is wet and it is cold. You could see my breath a little about 5 minutes ago, but I think it's slightly warming up. It's probably 45 minutes till it hits me, but it started raining about 7:30 last night. That was a good sheltered area, but as you can see, I'm trying to dry stuff out, but the dew point and temp are so close together that it's not going to make a lot of difference. But today actually is a short day anyway for me. So got the coffee going here. Looks like that's boiling. I'm glad I brought my stormproof matches. It's so wet and damp, my other matches would not light. And above 10,000 feet, these stoves don't necessarily work fantastic with the ignition. So glad I brought those. So I'm going to, on my day out, have maybe 2 cups of coffee, Pop-Tart, pack up, and I look forward to being in the sun, which you can see in the meadow. It's hitting out there, so hopefully I'll be out of here in a little bit over an hour or so. No rush. Again, today I'm getting picked up, so there's no race to get there. But cold start to the morning, but a good morning. And it rained a good solid 2 to 3 hours last night. So by midnight it was definitely over, but there's no wind or anything to kind of dry it off. So everything is just very saturated in here. So I'll check in once I get ready to leave. All right, so it's about 8:15 a.m. morning 2, and the sun literally in the last 2 minutes just started to creep into here. I have not physically even had it on me yet, so I'm gonna go get some right now. Feels nice. So this should bake everything off hopefully in the next hour or so, but kind of a cool little shot right there. Just almost like the dew in the air with the sun just coming through. All right, so time to head out. So I should have a couple more miles along the meadow. And if you notice right in here, there wasn't like an easy to find trail. There was a little something over there. I think that's why a lot of people walked by this. So again, yesterday at this point, I was ready to find a place by water and looking in the meadow. It's very, very open, so not a lot of good spots. I like to be more off the trail one, by water and hidden, so great spot. Interesting thing was putting my pack together this morning, and I noticed something was chewing on one of my zippers. Is gone, and then I have a pack liner for waterproofing. Something chewed on that, and inside it I found 2 rodent droppings. So apparently sometime during the night a mouse wandered in and just started chewing on random stuff. I didn't have food or anything in there, but good shot of the meadow and my water source. Look at that. About as good as it gets, right? And of course it's still soaking wet over here. But I dipped my feet in that last night. That goes all the way up. So this is about as far as I went yesterday, so day 2, here we go. All right, so I misspoke earlier. This is actually day 3 for me after night 2. So I'm now at the point, I guess, past the big rock structures where the meadow is finally disappeared. So last look with the meadow. Of course, that means I'll be in shade. So back into the forest. Here's an example of the cow patties. So granted, it's been wet and rainy, but I don't think they're too old. But got one there, got one here, and again, they're all around my site. So I think at some point there's free-range cattle that comes through here, and I don't see why not. You got all the grass you want, but it's that entire area right in there. Did not see one animal, which surprised me a little bit, but I guess it's open cover. All right, so I'm going to keep marching along the forest area, and I think I'm a little closer than what I thought. So one of the things I did last night actually was I dipped my trekking poles, the handles, into the stream to get anything like sweat, dirt, whatever off of it, because you'll hear about forest animals that will nibble on them because of the salt, and I've had that with my shoes before. So these are immaculate. That's why I'm surprised a mouse got into my pack. Very thick forest I'm in right now, slightly downhill, feels great. Hard to see through the dense forest here, but that's an example of the peaks that are coming up. So section 1 is more urban, 2 is like a very open, waterless desert, 3 is a pine forest, 4 is a half forest, and then you have the meadow. So I think at the end of this segment is where you're going to get the vistas. When you think of Colorado, what do you want to look at? And I think that's for quite a while. So I will be approaching that, but I'm not doing it today. I feel good. I wish I could do a couple more segments, but life beckons, work, mowing the lawn, all that good stuff. So I think this is kind of a good way to do it too, if you can arrange a ride or drop off where you could do it in mini segments and eventually get it done. But oh, spectacular views way up there right now. So definitely liking what I'm looking at. And again, I'm by Kenosha Pass, which is a very drivable area to visit. So I'll keep checking in as I have vistas that look nice. All right, so it's definitely not a close-up, but sweet view right here. If I turn the camera around, boom. So that is wide open. I think it's South Park. A little bit of a fall down there, but so now I'm starting to get a look at this right here. And of course, that's where it keeps going right there. So definitely getting the good vistas now as you approach the end of section 4. So as I've been doing this hike, just because we had such a high snowpack this year and it's been wet, there's a lot more mushrooms and spores. I just passed my first 2 people of the day, and they were coming the opposite direction, and it was 2 women in full-length dresses, homemade boots, and bonnets, and one of them had a really nice camera. So I would assume Mennonite. I didn't ask them, but they are mushroom hunters. So I guess this area is known for being really good in that meadow if you get by the water. So that's where they're heading up to, and they're looking for particular mushrooms that they dry and sell. So very interesting. But they told me I'm not too far away from the road that I'm looking for, and I hope it's a road that's easily drivable. My wife drives a sports car, so I'm not looking to put her in a rocky gulch with water and boulders. So if I need to walk it, I will. Very peaceful hiking. The temperature is fantastic. Again, not going to get any sunshine, but when you're actually hiking and you got to pack on, the 50s is great. So weather overall, the afternoons, it's been rainy, but the one strange thing about this area is we really haven't had any wind whatsoever, and usually you're at altitude, you're going to get that. So again, as I'm going through the forest, you can't see with the GoPro, but peeking through, you can start to get vistas. So I can tell I'm getting very close to where it's going to just be open and out of the forest. So far, so good. And I think I'm way ahead of schedule, so I'm going to predict I should be approaching my area in about an hour. All right, so I made it. I am at the Long Gulch trailhead, and I'm going to go ahead and probably start walking the road to see if I can meet Jane on here, because it looks like there's some sections with the rain where it's not so good. It's really early. I feel good, and I still don't have to meet her for another 2+ hours, so I think I'm going to start heading that way, and as it gets hot, I may even change in a bit. All right, so road walks definitely aren't that exciting. Kind of get an idea going in that way, but at least I'm going downhill about 1%. If I walk in the middle, it's on the hard pack. Plenty of water to my left. So this entire road to get to the highway, it's about 12 miles. So if I do this whole thing, it will be another 16 day, which is a good day. I'll probably want to change in an hour or so, but hopefully I'll meet Jane somewhere on this road as well. But very pleasant hiking. It's still pretty being here. No threat of weather. You can tell I'm getting a little thirsty, so I think it's time I pull to the side, treat some water, fill it up, and keep on marching, and hopefully I'll have Jane in the next 90 minutes to 2 hours. Still doing a long road walk, and as I'm looking, I don't know if the GoPro's going to pick it up. 3/4 of a mile. Looks like I see a black bear right there in the top of that hill between the 2 trees. So obviously I am walking in that direction, I'll make plenty of noise and stuff like that. But yeah, he's moving around. Kind of cool. So, all right, let's see what happens here. All right, so I've been road hiking for about an hour. Good pace, but if you see now, I'm leaving the Pike National Forest. Starting to go uphill, so again, I'm still next to water, but you can tell a lot of cattle here too. In fact, here's the fence line, so I'll assume over here is open cattle. Big old grates. So I'm probably gonna hike for another half hour and then I'll take a break. But again, I'm gonna take out as much of this road as I can until Jane gets here. So it's still very pretty along here, open meadows. That definitely was a bear. Probably 30 seconds after I did the video, he must have heard me and he just went boom, right up the hill. So this entire hike, I think I saw a deer in the forest and that bear on a service road. So I don't even know if that really counts because I was never within, I don't know, 200 yards of them. But oh well, still neat to know they're out here and I can see why. This is a very open grazy area. I think he was eating like some of the Indian paintbrush. There's the reds, the yellows, so it's all here. Very surprised though, not more deer, elk, whatever at 10,000 feet. So the hike I did today, I think it tops out around 10.9, not quite 11, and dips down, but you can tell the road here, it's starting to go up and around. So all right, looks like I got more fun road hiking ahead of me. You guys now looking so friendly, I guess I startled him. But he's definitely on the other side of the fence. And here's the road going up the hill. So there's a fence line here. How did he get on this side? There's a little gate there. God, I guess hope it's not a bull or something. All right. Well, I guess I'll see what happens here in a bit, but I think I'm going to try to avoid him through here. All right, 20 minutes since the cow. And I think it was a bull. I don't know. Either way, it didn't like me there. I ended up skirting that entire fence line, looking at him, and going up against a 30-degree slope where it was kind of rock like that, where it was slippery. So I just dug in and went for it. Once I was 50 yards by him, no big deal. So now I'm looking at Rock Creek trailhead, and I wouldn't want my wife to drive up that road. So I'm going to keep on going along. It's clouding up a little bit, I think, which actually helps. It's not nearly as hot. And, you know, it's an up and down road with traffic going by every now and then of horse trailers and people with campers, but I really hope at some point in the next hour I'm on the right road, and so is my wife. So check this out. I am in the middle of nowhere. Beautiful bowl area. What I call a mini bowl. How do you think I got an ice cold beer? Trail Angel, someone coming by in an ATV, looks at me and first thing they say is, do you want a beer? I'm looking at him like, well, sure. I thought he was joking with me, and he hands me an ice cold beer. So, good timing with that. So I was planning to take my rest break here, and I'll wait until noon, see if Jane shows up. If not, I'll keep going. But man, this certainly helps out a lot. So, beautiful area, great weather, very friendly people. I've definitely gone up. So that is definitely uphill, that whole road right there. Doesn't look too bad right there. But it's easy walking. It's just a long road at altitude. So hopefully my last video will be when I see Jane's car. Look at that, check it out. That is my ride. Whew, look at that, I got a Trail Angel a few minutes ago, had a beer, got my ride. Life is good. So I hope this video turns out well, and I appreciate you watching. I'll always give a shout out to Trail Angels. All right, I'll let Jane say hello. Hopefully she's in a good mood. All right, thanks for watching.